Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Jinjin's Cosmic. If you didn't happen to be here, perhaps it's time to meet your soul. Come closer, Scorpio. Settle into this space and listen not just with your ears, but with the entire, profound depth of your being. There is a message echoing from the cosmos, a truth that has been stirring within you, and it is meant only for your soul. Have you felt it? Not a loud, chaotic storm, but a quiet, internal shattering. A sense that the very fortress you built around your heart, brick by brick, with every disappointment and every hard-won battle, is beginning to show cracks. This isn't a sign of collapse, my dear Scorpio. It is a sign of liberation. The light is finally getting in. For far too long, you have confused this fortress for a home, this vigilance for peace. You believed that by controlling everything, by feeling everything so intensely, yet showing so little, you were safe. But the universe is asking you now, was it truly safety? Or was it a beautiful, gilded cage? The truth that is emerging is that you were never meant to live behind walls, even the ones you built to protect yourself. You, a soul of oceanic depth, were meant to be a powerful, flowing river, not a stagnant moat. If you can feel the resonance of this truth in your bones, if a part of you is quietly, finally ready to let the walls crumble, I want you to anchor this intention with me now. Go to the comments and declare to the universe, I, Scorpio, am ready to witness my own truth. Let us ground this energy together, right here. And stay with me, because every word that follows is a key, designed to unlock a door within you that has been closed for far too long. The final revelations are where everything will finally click into place. Let's speak of the transformation that is already underway. You may not have a name for it yet. This profound inner recalibration. It's the unsettling feeling that the life you've been so carefully curating, the roles you have mastered, the very skin you present to the world, suddenly feels restrictive, like a uniform you have outgrown. It no longer contains the immensity of who you are becoming. This is not a fleeting mood. It is a sacred dissolution. The old pains you clutched so tightly, believing they were a part of your identity, are being gently pried from your grasp. The intense emotions you learned to suppress, the very fire and water that make you who you are no longer being treated as liabilities. A wiser, more compassionate part of you is rising, looking upon your own intensity, not with fear, but with reverence. You are standing at a holy threshold, Scorpio. Not between one place and another, but between one version of you and the next. In the sacred language of the tarot, there is a card that sends shivers down the spines of many, but which you, dear Scorpio, understand in your very marrow. It is the death card, la mort. For others, it is an omen of endings. For you, it has always been a promise of rebirth. It does not speak of a literal death, but of a profound alchemical process, a cosmic cleansing. You are being offered the chance to consciously, courageously, allow the outdated version of yourself to die. The version that learned to equate love with struggle. The version that believed its worth was measured by its endurance for pain. The version that dimmed its own brilliant light so as not to intimidate those who could not handle its radiance. You are letting that ghost go, so that the true you, the authentic, sovereign, and unapologetically magnificent you can finally be born. This is the essence of your power. You are the phoenix. It is not just a myth. It is the blueprint of your soul. You were born with the innate wisdom to walk through the fires of your own life and emerge not scarred, but illuminated, with wings forged of obsidian and gold, ready to soar into new dimensions of wisdom. And this change, feel this deeply, it is not coming from the outside. No one is telling you that you must be different. It is the undeniable, insistent voice of your own soul, rising from the depths and declaring with unwavering certainty, you deserve to be whole. You deserve a love that does not require you to betray yourself. You deserve a peace that is not born of numbness. This happiness is not a reward for perfection. It is your fundamental birthright, earned in the quiet moments you chose to journey through your own shadows and learn, finally, to love the creature of depth and intensity you found there. You're already noticing the signs, aren't you? That old reactive sting has softened. You no longer feel the compulsive need to win every argument or have the final word. Instead, you find yourself pausing, observing. You look at a person or a situation that once had the power to shatter you, and you feel not the fire of rage, but the quiet, gentle warmth of gratitude. Gratitude for the lesson it taught you. Gratitude for the strength it forced you to find. Gratitude for the mirror it held up, showing you exactly where your heart still needed its own love. Perhaps a flicker of fear remains. The fear of the unknown is a powerful echo. The fear of stepping into the full, unbridled force of your power, and what that might mean for the life you have known. The fear of the solitude that sometimes comes with walking a path so uniquely your own. But feel this, Scorpio. Your heart is no longer a locked vault. It is becoming a sacred temple, open and consecrated. You have started to smile again, haven't you? Not a polite smile for others, but a small, genuine curve of the lips that rises from a deep, inner well of peace. This transformation, even if no one else can see its full, breathtaking scope, is the true beginning of your new life. A life where you no longer run from your own intensity, but wield it as your greatest tool. A life where you see your depth not as a burden, but as your most precious gift. A life where you finally, fully, inhabit yourself as the safe and powerful home you have been searching for all along. And here is the most profound secret of this journey. When you commit to healing your own world, you send out powerful, resonant ripples of healing into the collective. Every single Scorpio who dares to reclaim their power becomes a lighthouse for the entire community. Every soul that bravely faces its own darkness becomes a guiding star for those who are lost. If you feel you are at one of these sacred turning points, even if it feels intensely personal and you have no words for it, I invite you to leave a comment. You don't need to share any details. A simple, "I am walking through the fire," is enough to let another soul know that they are not alone. And you are not alone. From the moment you begin this courageous act of self-acceptance, you are no longer in the dark. You are stepping into your own magnificent, undeniable light. Now, let us speak of that period of stillness you have just endured. That long, quiet, and perhaps frightening pause in your life. Never mistake your stillness for weakness, Scorpio. It was not a sign of failure. It was a symptom of profound exhaustion. You, who gives everything with such ferocious intensity, had been pouring your precious life force into people, situations, and belief systems that were no longer worthy of your sacred energy. You tried so hard. You did everything you were told was right. You fought the battles. You kept the peace. You held it all together. But in doing so, you forgot the feeling of being passionately, incandescently alive. There were days, weren't there? Days you woke up, went through the motions with flawless precision, managed every responsibility, yet inside there was a deep, unsettling numbness, a void. You would look at the life you had built, a life that by any external measure might have seemed perfect, and a voice from your soul would whisper, Is this it? Am I just meant to stand still in a life that was designed to be a powerful, flowing river? I want you to understand that this stagnation was not a punishment. It was a sacred, cosmic intervention. It was a gift from the universe, forcing you into a silence so absolute that you had no choice but to finally hear the whisper of your own inner truth, the one you had drowned out amidst the noise, the drama, and the relentless expectations of the world. But now, now, everything is different. A strange and potent energy is rising within you. It is no longer a whisper. It is a clear, deep, resonant drumbeat. You are beginning to move again. You feel the primal urge to create, to destroy what no longer serves you, and to rebuild your world on your own terms. You find yourself wanting to rearrange your physical space, transforming it from a mere house into a sanctuary. You feel the pull to reconnect with the creative passions you set aside, because they weren't practical. You are breaking free from that protective emotional numbness and becoming that powerful river once more, strong enough to wash away all the old fatigue and carve a new, magnificent canyon through the landscape of your life. And the most beautiful part of this, dear Scorpio, is that as you step out of that stagnation, you are not only saving yourself, you become a living, breathing testament to the power of resilience. With your renewed energy, with your unspoken choice to rise from your own ashes, you are silently giving permission to other souls to do the same. Because sometimes, one person daring to ignite the light in their own darkness accidentally illuminates the path for an entire tribe of others who thought they were lost for good. Have you ever experienced a moment like this? A reawakening after a long period of stillness? What was the catalyst that helped you break through the ice? I invite you to share your story in the comments, not just for yourself, but because your story of resilience might just be the very spark of hope that someone quietly reading this needs to see today. As you reconnect with this powerful new rhythm, you will notice something magical begin to unfold. As your inner world shifts, so too does the flow of energy in your outer world. We are speaking of your finances, your career, your life's work. A powerful current of abundance is being unblocked, and it is flowing directly from the profound frequency shift occurring within your own heart. For you, Scorpio, money has never been merely about paper or numbers. Money is energy. It is power, and at its highest vibration, it is a tangible symbol of the universe affirming your purpose and your worth. It is the world's way of saying, I see you. I see you dedicating yourself with unwavering integrity. I see you moving with power and intention. And here is the energy you require to build your empire, to protect those you love, and to fulfill your sacred mission. When you operate from this new, healed, and empowered space, you are no longer competing. Competition is the language of those who are uncertain of their own value. You are creating. You are manifesting. Success is no longer something you must chase or fight for. It arrives inevitably, like a powerful tide turning in your favor. All you must do is continue to cultivate your inner world with faith, with honor, and with the unflinching honesty that is your trademark. In a world that so often celebrates the superficial, your choice to live with depth, to work from your soul, is not a small act. It is a revolutionary one. Every project you undertake with integrity, every service you offer from a place of authentic power, contributes to building a world with more substance, more truth. When you earn and manage your resources from this place of alignment, you are no longer a slave to money. You become its master. You become a wise and trustworthy guardian of the abundant energy the universe grants you, directing it with precision and purpose. And a strange and wonderful thing begins to happen as you live this way. You begin to see yourself as more beautiful, more powerful. It is not an external validation. It is a light that begins to shine from within. It's the fire in your eyes. It's the unwavering certainty in the tone of your voice. Every small action you take carries the undeniable weight of your reclaimed power. Now, pause and go inward. Have you ever dared to dream that you could be wildly successful while remaining completely true to your deepest, most sacred values? What, if anything, has held you back from believing this was possible? Write it down in the comments. Not for anyone else, but for you. To look at it, to acknowledge it, and to see that you are already on the path to transcending it. And as this new energy transforms your life from the inside out, if this message is resonating deep within your soul, if you feel that we are on this journey together, I would be so honored if you would take a moment to press that subscribe button and join our community. We are building a sacred space here for deep, transformative wisdom, and I want to make sure you never miss an update the universe has in store for you. Your presence here matters. Let's talk about the outward reflection of this inner change. True transformation rarely begins with a dramatic, explosive event. More often, it begins with the quietest, most intentional acts of self-reverence. One day, you simply decide you will no longer tolerate anything that weakens your spirit. You begin to prepare your food not just to eat, but to consciously nourish the vessel of your powerful soul. You look in the mirror and see not flaws, but a warrior who has survived unimaginable battles. You choose your clothes based not on trends, but on how they make you feel. Powerful, protected, authentic. You begin to curate your home, not for guests, but for your own energy, making it a fortress of peace and a sanctuary for your spirit. And you do this not to earn praise. You do it not to prove a single thing to anyone. You do it because that deep, wise voice inside of you has finally woken up and whispered, "It is time to honor yourself again. It is time to love yourself with the same fierce intensity with which you have always loved others." You see, Scorpio, you are not changing because you were ever lacking. You are changing because you are remembering. You are remembering that you are worthy of the most potent, the most pure, and the most powerful forms of love, starting with the love you give to yourself, even if it's just a new commitment to your physical strength, a new boundary you finally enforce, or simply the act of unplugging from the world to recharge your spirit. These are all profound, silent acts of love. And please hear this. For you, taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is a non-negotiable act of a sovereign being. It is the ultimate power move. You are realizing that you do not have to be in pain to deserve care. You do not have to be exhausted to deserve rest. You do not have to be broken to deserve to be made whole. You just need to turn your immense power and focus inward with intention and with kindness. And that is more than enough. Every time you choose something that strengthens you, your body, your mind, your soul, you are rewriting the contract you have with yourself. A contract that no longer begins with the clause, "I must struggle to be worthy," but with the powerful declaration, "I have always been worthy." And the world will feel this shift. Those around you will notice. They may not be able to name it, but they will see that you radiate a new kind of light, a magnetic, self-contained power, a beauty that isn't found in a bottle, but grows in the peace and power of your unflinching eyes. Do you remember the last time you did something purely to fortify your own spirit? Not for anyone else, just for you. A small ritual, a moment of silence, a powerful workout. Those small acts are the very bedrock of this grand new chapter. What is one small, powerful change you want to make for yourself during this time? Let us know in the comments so we can cheer you on, because I promise you, every intentional act today is leading you to the empowered version of you that your soul is waiting to fully embody. It is precisely these changes that will empower you to do something you may have struggled with for a very long time: to stop hiding your light. How many times in your life, my dear Scorpio, have you dimmed your own brilliance because you sensed it made others uncomfortable? Your intensity, your perception, your uncanny ability to see right through the facade to the naked, trembling truth. It can be intimidating for those who live in the shallow end of life's pool. Perhaps you learned early on that it was safer to be quiet, to observe, to keep the full, magnificent force of your being under wraps. You became so adept at protecting others from your truth that you almost forgot you had a right to shine. You were told you were too much, too intense, too passionate, too deep. And so, day by day, you may have started to believe that to be accepted, it was better to be less of yourself. Scorpio, if you have ever traded your power for a false peace, or your light for a hollow acceptance, the universe is now telling you with absolute clarity that time is over. You are now reclaiming your light. And this is not a loud, aggressive takeover. It requires no announcement. It is simply this: you no longer pretend. You no longer tolerate people, places, and situations that require you to shrink. You begin to speak your truth. Calmly and with certainty, you begin to allow yourself to shine without asking for anyone's permission. And the most critical part, you no longer feel a single ounce of guilt for doing so. By choosing your own light, you become a lighthouse for other powerful souls who are still wandering in the dark. You have no idea who is watching you, who is being silently inspired by your quiet courage, but you radiate your light anyway, because that is what you were born to do. Being true to yourself is the ultimate act of service. When one powerful soul like you dares to live in their full truth, you silently give the entire world permission to do the same. An entire community can begin to heal, all because one heart dared to say, "I will not pretend anymore." Has anyone in your life ever made you feel like you needed to shrink? And do you still, perhaps unknowingly, allow their memory to have power over your light? If you have reclaimed your power from such a situation, I invite you to share a part of your story, because someone listening to this right now is waiting for a soul like you to show them it is possible. As you dare to reignite your own inner fire, the surrounding darkness simply dissolves. The critics, the energy vampires, the limitations you once thought were insurmountable, they lose all their power. Because once you know, truly know, where your light comes from, you will never again need anyone else to validate it. This brings us to the goodbyes. Some goodbyes do not need drama or tears, Scorpio. Sometimes, all it takes is one long, honest look in the mirror to realize that it is time for you and another person to walk your separate paths. If someone is slowly, or even abruptly, exiting your life right now, I want you to let them go. Let it happen with a quiet, dignified grace, without blame, without resentment, because sometimes a departure is not an ending. It is a sacred clearing of space, making way for something far more aligned, more true, and more healing. Some people leave a permanent, beautiful mark on our souls, but others are simply lessons. They are mirrors, and once the lesson is learned, or the reflection is seen, they must depart. You did nothing wrong, and they are not necessarily bad people. It is simply that the energetic contract between you has expired. Your journeys no longer align. Letting go, for you, is not an act of weakness. It is one of your greatest powers. It is an act of profound kindness to yourself. You no longer hold on out of a fear of loss. You no longer cling to a memory of what once was. You, my dear Scorpio, are mastering the art of the clean break. You are stopping when you feel your power being drained. You are stopping when your heart no longer feels safe and respected. You are stopping not because you no longer care, but because you care about your own soul's sovereignty more. And the beautiful thing is, when you dare to release a connection that is no longer healthy, you are not only freeing yourself, you are breaking a generational chain. You are modeling what healthy self-preservation looks like. Someone watching you will learn how to love themselves enough to walk away too. Has anyone ever stepped out of your life and left you with a surprising sense of liberation? If you feel comfortable, you don't need to share details. Just write, "I moved on with power," in the comments. That simple declaration might be the final push someone else needs to choose freedom over familiarity. As these old, constricting bonds dissolve, you will feel the space in your heart become fertile ground once more. A new connection, one that is deeper, kinder, more genuine, and capable of meeting you at your depth, is on its way. It might be a new love, a new soul friend, or perhaps most importantly, it is the fully reclaimed, powerful version of you that you have been searching for all along. But the past has a funny way of echoing, doesn't it? The door to the past doesn't always stay locked. Sometimes, someone from a lifetime ago returns. Not in person, perhaps, but in your thoughts, in your dreams. A sudden, sharp memory. A longing that seems to come out of nowhere. Scorpio, that person who once held such a deep and powerful place in your heart, maybe you thought you couldn't live without them. Maybe you gave them a part of your power you thought you would never get back. Maybe you lost a piece of your own light when they walked away. But look at you now. You are not the same person. You are no longer the one willing to dim your own light to keep someone in your orbit. You have learned to love yourself. You have reclaimed the very power they once, perhaps unknowingly, took. And it is that light, that newfound sovereignty, that is now acting like a cosmic magnet, pulling their thoughts back to you. Not because you need them, but because you have become so undeniably powerful that you no longer need anyone to feel whole. They might be feeling regret. They might miss the profound feeling of being near a soul with such depth and loyalty. They might even try to return. But this time, my dear Scorpio, the choice is not in their hands. The power rests entirely within your healed and wise heart. Remember this: forgiveness is not the same as reconciliation. Forgiveness is for you. It is the act of cutting the final energetic cord, freeing yourself from the weight of resentment. It is looking back at the past, nodding with wisdom, and moving forward with a heart that is free. That is how you close a chapter with honor. And if that person truly wants to re-enter your world, they will have to do the work. They will have to approach the gates of your heart with sincerity, with proven change, and with the utmost respect. Because the door to your heart no longer opens out of loneliness. It opens now only as a conscious, powerful choice. If someone from your past were to return now, what would your healed self choose? Forgiveness and release, or a cautious reopening of the door? Share your thoughts if you wish, not for judgment, but to hear the wisdom of your own voice. No matter your choice, know this: you are now loving from a place of awareness, not blindness, because you know that true love is not about keeping someone at all costs, but about protecting your own peace at all costs. And then, There is someone else, someone you may not even be aware of. They are not from your past, and they have not yet fully stepped into your present. They exist in the periphery, a quiet, steady presence, a gaze directed at you from a safe distance. They don't make noise. They leave no obvious trace. But their energy is there, and something within you, something in your very essence, keeps drawing their attention. Not because you are trying to impress anyone, but for the exact opposite reason. Because you are so completely, unapologetically, and authentically yourself. Scorpio, your light is not a dazzling, blinding spotlight. It is more like the steady, mesmerizing glow of embers in the dark. It is the light of someone who lives with depth, with kindness, with integrity, and with a quiet power that is so incredibly rare in this loud world. You do not need to say much. You do not need to prove anything. You simply live in alignment with your soul's code, each and every day. And that energy, that powerful sincerity, acts like a beacon, calling out to the souls who are yearning for something real. You are attracting them without even knowing it. And it is precisely this unconscious magnetism that makes you so compelling. You don't have to try to be seen, because your quiet strength is impossible to ignore. You don't perform kindness. You embody it. You don't preach about love. You become a living example of its power. And if this person, this quiet observer, truly wishes to enter your world, they will understand that they must approach you with the same integrity with which you live your life. Not with a fleeting desire, not with a wandering eye, but with a steadfast devotion that mirrors the way you show up for yourself every single day. Have you ever felt it? Like someone was quietly watching over you, not with words, but with their energy. What do you believe it is about your authentic self that is so magnetic? Share your insights, not for validation, but to understand your own power more deeply. Because sometimes, just by living in your truth, you have unintentionally become the guiding star for someone who is trying to find their way home. My dear Scorpio, after all the battles, all the goodbyes, all the painful transformations, you are entering a truly sacred phase. A phase of opening your heart again. But this time, from a place of unshakable strength. You are no longer seeking connections to fill a void. You are now clearing space in the temple of your heart for relationships that are worthy of being there. You are calling in a connection where no grand explanations are needed to be understood. Someone you can sit with in powerful silence. Someone who will never make you feel that your intensity is too much. You have journeyed too far and learned too much to ever again settle for a connection that requires you to be smaller. You are moving forward now with power, with grace, and with profound discernment. You no longer need validation from anyone, because you know that the right connections will find you when you are living in your fullest truth. What are you truly seeking in your next great connection, Scorpio? Is it peace? Passionate companionship? Or someone with the strength to simply hold space for your magnificent soul? Write it down. Speak it to the universe. Because only when you clarify your desire does the cosmos know what miracle to send your way. And you will see, as you clear out what is old with gratitude, not bitterness, that healing and magic will rush in to fill the space. It might be a new person. It might be a new opportunity. It might be a miracle you never saw coming. If you are still here with me, listening at this very moment, I know your powerful heart is ready. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just continue to live with courage and never, ever turn your back on the magnificent light that burns within you. You have come so far. No one may have seen every battle. No one may have applauded every silent victory. But the universe has seen it all. And today, the cosmos wants you to know, you did not break. You chose to be reborn. And that alone is enough for a universe of miracles to begin. Keep living with your profound depth. Keep loving with your powerful heart. Because every conscious choice you make is helping to create a world with more truth, more courage, and more hope. If this message has touched the depths of your soul, leave one final comment as a declaration to the universe. I am ready to live the life my soul intended. And if you believe another Scorpio out there needs to hear this message, please share this video with them as a gift of empowerment. You never know when you might be the reason someone else chooses to rise from their own ashes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your courage. And thank you for being a Scorpio. Profound, powerful, and so full of magnificent, untamable light.